Hello. Let me see how this is going and what kind of a delay we have. Maybe, maybe. There we go. Okay, so it's about a 5-second delay. That's good to know. And I'm going to have to stare at things funny for a bit to figure out how this all works. And I really should turn my volume down so I'm not listening to myself. All right. So while I'm getting the kinks out, hello, everybody. My plan for this stream and going forward is to give folks a chance to have a little bit of community while they're cross stitching, but not necessarily be like forcing themselves to be on camera. So if you're listening to audiobooks, if you're watching TV, if you're watching a movie, if whatever, um, in your PJs and don't want to be seen on camera, this will allow you to hang out with everybody and still have a little bit of privacy. If you are part of the BookTube community or the AuthorTube community here on YouTube, you may have encountered these type of sprints. And if you do read or you do write and you're looking for a way to kind of keep yourself focused, check them out because they're kind of awesome. The way this works is we will run a timer. Um, we'll kind of figure out on the fly how long we want each session to go. I'm thinking either 30 minutes or 45 minutes to start, and as folks get a more of a comfortable, I kind of like this, or let's go for a long sprint because I have an entire episode of a TV show to watch, kind of a thing. I'm up for anything. And we stitch. Then after that timer runs down, we have a break. We come back. We can chat. We'll go through, the chat that's on the YouTube screen, and then we'll do another sprint for a certain amount of time, and just kind of go from there. I am a complete novice when it comes to streaming, so this is going to be awkward for a bit, but I'm sure I will get better as I get used to it and time goes on. But please forgive me for being clumsy and weird. I'm weird anyway. But anyway, so tonight, just to get started on things, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up my planner for 2026. And I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes at a time, since it's a little bit shorter and it's me practicing this. And then I'll come back. I'll show you what I have going. If anyone happens to pop on, feel free to talk in the chat. Tell me what you're working on. I'll probably do like 3 rounds of this just to practice it and see how things are going. And that'll be it for tonight. And then on Sunday, after I post the apocalypse, I am going to do an official launch of this and do probably 2 to 3 hours of streaming where people can hang out and stitch. So to kick off, I got my planner from Black Needle Society this past week, and I've put in a little bit of information on a couple of stitch alongs that I wanted to do on Facebook groups, but I have to put in all of my whips. And oh, do I have a lot of them. So I'm going to be writing everything down on my back pages with my whips. I need to get my whip go board together, and I think that'll probably be it tonight, but we shall see. So yeah, I'm gonna start the first sprint. It'll be 10 minutes, and then I will pop back here and do a practice chat. So if you come on in, say hi, and I'll see you in 10 minutes. All right, bye. Okay, and we're back. So, what I did during that 10 minutes is start to write down all of the stuff that I have in my planner, on my whips. And I have a lot of whips. I have way too many whips. Uh, I honestly need to work on getting my whips down in 2026. I let myself go a little crazy this past year. Uh, with turning 50, I decided that this was the year that I was going to allow myself any starts that I wanted. Um, the rule I had was that it had to mostly come from stash. And I stuck to that pretty well this year, actually. The stuff that I had, with the exception of maybe 10 flosses that I bought this year, everything I started was entirely from stash. So that's good. But I'm probably coming up on now having almost 80 whips. Um, yeah. So 2026 is going to be a year where I will have a couple of starts here and there. I mean, I can't go completely cold turkey. I can't. I've got stuff that I want to do. I've got some classes I want to do. And yeah, so I'm realistic. But pretty much the rest of the year is going to be spent on doing whip work. My friend Amy had a great idea where she took all of her whips and she put them into two columns where she had her big ass projects, the ones that are nowhere near being done, but need work on them, but they're not going to get done this year. And then other stuff that is doable that might actually have a chance of getting done next year. I probably will do that, but before I do that, I got to list them all down and get a sense of what I've got here. Because it might just be more logical for me to pull like a selection of maybe 12 out and focus on those until they're looking like they're a lot more done. I don't know, but I need to get the whole list together, and it's mostly together, but I had some starts and stuff, and there's a couple of things that I can cross off or that I'm going to part with. So I'm in that organizing stage. So um, I am going to start us on another countdown. Let me. Okay. So in order to organize the countdown at different times, I'm going to have different countdown screens. Important note. All right. So I'm going to do another 10-minute countdown, and I will see you on the other side if you pop in. Bye. So I'm waiting for my husband to come back here with a soda because I'm thirsty. And I don't worry, I don't have my camera on.
What, just to make it?
Yes. Thank you, dear, because you're broadcasting that to the world. He's
Honestly.
not. Yeah, okay. My husband, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so that went well, and now that he's safely out of the room, there we go. Yeah, he's being a guy, and he's, like hanging out in his underwear, as guys do. Didn't think that needed to be on camera. You're welcome. So continuing to go through my whip list, and I continue to go, oh my God, I have a whole ton of whips. And my friends are probably laughing at me because I have so many whips, and even I'm starting to get a little antsy with how many whips I have. Yeah. But so on this conversation thing, since no one else is in here with me, I don't think. If anyone is in here, please say hi, because I feel like I'm talking to the wind. So this is my third time that I've used the Black Needle planner. I got one the first year that they did them, I think. Maybe I've done them 3 years in a row. I think there was one year that I bought it, but I didn't quite use it to its potential. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to use it. And I had the 24 hours of cross stitch planner that year, so I was kind of bouncing between the two of them. And then last year I was like, yeah, I don't know. And I bought both planners, but I found I completely gravitated to the Black Needle one. Mostly just because printing out the other one and putting it in rings, it just was so big, it didn't work for me to port around. If I was a digital planner person, the 24 hours of cross stitch one probably would work great. But I'm a pen and paper chick. So I decided this year that I'm committing to Black Needle one. So I'll show you what I have going so far. I have not filled out the opening stats yet. I will do that on New Year's Day because I do have at least one project that I am planning on finishing before New Year's. I'll show that after the next break. And then so far, I have gone through and put in a few of my stitch alongs. So like, I have, that's the first week of the year. So 24 hours cross stitch. Now I've got that on my brain. Semi-Sane Stitchers is running a year-long stitch along where like every approximately 14 days there'll be a stretch to put in a certain number of stitches in a piece. You set your own goal, and then within 2 weeks you post your progress, and the goals basically just have to be in groups of like 500 stitches or 5 hours, something very easy to count by fives. So throughout the planner, on the days where I need to make sure that I have my my goal for the next 2 weeks, I have that in there. And then when it starts, I have, what is that one? Oh, that's the Apocalypse kickoff, where I'm reminding myself to make my posts on my blog. And obviously I have holidays in there. The birthday is not mine. That's my good friend Matt's. My birthday is the next week. So then like on that week, I have a reminder that for Semi-Sane Stitchers, I have the 555 posts to make. For different groups, I'm color coding them. So if I have something that week, I have it noted with the color of what group or, where I need to post it. The way this will work is on the top is I will note what I worked on that week, stitch counts every day. If there's an event, stitching retreat, like a get together, whatever, online or in person, it's going to be on the center. So that's why, like, my birthday is there. That's why there's the holidays will be there, stitching retreats, that kind of stuff. That'll all be in the center. And then these are tasks I have to do, or just reminders for me about things that maybe I need to, like, pay a bill for something stitching related, or hey, like, for instance, when I get to for Stitch New England, because registration will be opening up for those of us who have gone before. Hey, this is when it's opening up, that kind of stuff, where to remind myself that I need to be ready for this. Which reminds me, I got to put Frogworks in there, because that's coming up in about a week and a half, where I got to pay for that. So I started off with just putting that stuff in. There's obviously not a lot in the day planners yet. There will be later. I've got my my meetings for the Tudor Rose Guild to get in there. I won't put in my board meetings yet, since we're going to have a new board as of March, and there was already a hint by the incoming president that the day that we were having the board meetings might not work for her. So I don't want to, commit the entire year and go, oops, sorry, I have to switch that in my planner. So that is kind of a work in progress. If I have, like, a really big event that's not stitching related, for example, my son is, if all goes well, he's going to be testing for his first degree in black belt in the end of May. So I have that day noted down that, hey, I can't plan any stitching events that day because I'm going to be a little busy. So that kind of stuff is going in there. But to be fair, this really is only a stitching planner. A few high-level things like that I'll put in here just to make sure I don't plan things. But I do have a daily planner that I use for work and for everything else in my life. And stuff from this also will make it over there, because that's pretty much this is what I live out of. This will not travel, with the exception of going to, like, stitching retreats. This will stay here in my office. It's not going to go anywhere. What does go everywhere is this will be my planner for 2026. This is a Kikuyo Jibun Techo, and very funky Japanese planners. And it's got a whole lot more written down in it already. I've got this sucker just about ready to go for the next year. I've got a little bit of fine tuning to do, but not as much as you would think. But yeah, I'm a crazy planner person. What can I say? So, okay. I think I'm going to do one more sprint to continue testing this out. Once again, if you pop in, say hi. And if not, if you're seeing this after the fact, drop me a comment just to say, hey, if you're interested or not. But I will wrap this up after this sprint, and then we'll see you on Sunday. So see you on the other side. Bye. Oh, I didn't notice that the timer had run down. Ha! Oops, sorry. I wonder if there's a way if I can get an alert on that so that I don't have to look up, but maybe not. All right. So that'll be my last sprint there. Before I go on this, I will show you where I'm at on my current WIP. This is what I am frantically working on to try to finish by the end of the year, and I think I'm going to do it. This is Jade Band Sampler. I am on week 28 of 30, so I do not have that far to go. I maybe have about 6 more inches, which is good because I'm quickly running out of fabric. When this thing is done, I will be showing it off with a great photo with my husband holding it up and me standing next to it because it's taller than me now and I'm 5'4". So I'm going to go and work on that for the evening, and I will bid you all a good night, and I will see you guys on Sunday afternoon, probably at around 2-ish. So until then, Merry Christmas, everybody who's celebrating, and I will see you later. Take care. Bye.